Hi there. I'm really interested in well being and spirituality and the way we think and the way we see ourselves and the way we see our world. But I also believe in what we do to take care of ourselves, what we eat, our spiritual practices, and things like that. What I have done this year that has been really meaningful to me is plant a garden. Now we're very lucky because where we live, there's this really great community garden in the back of our home where there's things like kale and lettuce and sprouts and tomatoes. It's dried up because it's really hot here in Key West, and it dried up over the last couple of months. So what I did, because I'm now accustomed to having it, but then in this time of the year it's gone, I decided to do something that was sustainable for me. I would support the habits that I'm seeking to have, create, and cultivate. So I got this aeroponic tower garden, which I really enjoy. In it, I've planted Aramath. A really great friend of mine gifted me these non-GMO Aramath seeds. I planted that, which is green callaloo. I have lettuce, rainbow chard, kale, and I just planted strawberries and this purple kale. So I'm gonna see how those do. What we eat, well, my son has really been the one that's been doing a big push these last couple of weeks because he's just kind of reconnected with himself and wants to eat better. So he came to me one day and he said, there's no food in this house, and what are we gonna have? And I said, excuse me, we have kamut pasta. It's one ingredient. I usually buy it. It's by Eden. I have wild rice, and what's the other grain? Quinoa. I usually keep that in the house too. And I bought mushrooms for him, and he made mushroom burgers. He made this really great onion flatbread with spelt flour because I always keep that on hand. So I really believe that when we eat well and we eat close to the earth, that we're cultivating fertile ground for our minds and our hearts to be open and for us to be able to vibrate higher. Another practice that I've been doing for the last couple of months, and I've done it before on and off, but this time I've kind of stuck with it, is meditating. And I use Wayne Dyer because I love Dr. Dyer, and all his information is just great. He's been such a good source of knowledge and wisdom and understanding for me and the children. There was a time where I would drive a long way to work and I would always play him. So my kids were able to recite like a couple of paragraphs from what he would say, and it was just the cutest thing ever. So I meditate. I do the morning meditation, and I realize that when I do that, I'm able to manifest easily, and I'm very calm, and my heart is open. I'm also walking, so I take this morning walk. I do about 3,000 steps in the morning, which is not a lot, but it's just enough to get me going and prime me for the rest of the day. So around lunchtime, I could walk a little bit, and then in the evening, I walk a little bit more. And before I know it, I've moved my body, and that feels really good at the end of the day. I have a water distiller, so for the last year, I use it and I distill my own water, and I'm always shocked by what I see when I open the distiller, all the sediment and all the grit and grime in it. It's unbelievable what's in the tap water, but I don't blame the city or the county or whoever, because at the end of the day, we're completely responsible for what we consume. We're responsible for what we see. We're responsible for what we let into our bodies. At the beginning of the year, a really good practice that I had and that worked really well for me was fasting. And I'd never done it before, but I read all these books about fasting, and I was just really convinced. I'd injured my knee. That's what happened. I injured my knee. And I was watching some YouTube videos about a gentleman that injured his back, and he was in a foreign country and couldn't get to medical care. So he fasted for a week, nothing but water. And by the end of the week, his pain decreased significantly, and he was able to move, and he experienced health from this fast. So my knee hurt so much that I was almost limping, and I just felt desperate. And I would not go to a doctor for this because I believe that doctors are great, you know, if I have a gunshot wound or something like that. But I think for other things, traditional, holistic, integrative medicine, for me, that's what I believe in. So I decided to go on this fast, and I fasted for a week. And the first couple of days were rough, and after that, I was coasting, and my knee healed beautifully. It didn't hurt as much as it did. I wasn't walking with a limp anymore, and I was thrilled. And I'd lost weight, my skin. So my skin cleared up. I didn't have a taste for sugar anymore. So I continued fasting. I started doing the 1 meal a day fast. And afterwards, I did intermittent fast. And I've fallen off with fasting for whatever reason. But it really worked for me. And a girlfriend of mine called me this week and said, let's fast because I've gained weight, you've gained weight, and you know, it's great. It worked for you. Let's do it. So you know, I'm back to OMAD. I'm going to try it out. I didn't have the best day today, but it's all good. It's all a process, and we learn and we grow and we figure out what works, and we enjoy the contrast. And I love that when Abraham Hicks talks about the contrast, that we're here in the physical reality to enjoy it. We enjoy everything, you know, the food, the friendship, the lovers, the children, the work, the connection, everything that is part of the human experience. We're here for it, and it's beautiful. Namaste.